Hey y'all, if you are listening today, that means it's my birthday. And that also means it is the launch of Jaded. It is the official launch of the Jaded Heart podcast. I am 28 years old today, and actually I was born on my father's birthday, who is 51 years old today, so happy birthday, Daddy. I am so happy to be launching my baby. Jaded Heart has been in the making for 12 years now. That's about right, 12 years now. And for a while, it was on the back burner. I had my kids I had my first child when I got pregnant when I was 19, so I had her when I was 20. And I've been in work mode. I've had a job since I was 16 years old. So I've been in work mode since then. And in being in work mode, your dreams kind of fall to the back burner a lot of times because you are so focused on the things that have to happen. You know, bills have to be paid, the house has to be taken care of, and you just want to be a great mom. So Jaded Heart went to the back burner. And this year, after the last few years, after my separation from Broderick, and now in this year with us getting back together, I said, you know what, this is my time to do what I want to do. That means not necessarily working a 9-to-5. And knowing that's what I want to do, that means I have to take the steps now. And I had to tell myself a few months ago, if I don't do it now, I won't do it. Because it's just how I am. I have to take the plunge. So I bet on me, and Jaded Heart is now here. And I am so excited for this next journey of being an entrepreneur, because I haven't dived into that before, but I know everything is happening for the greater good of me, the greater good of my family. So with all that being said, thank you to everyone who supported prior to now, and for all the people who will support in the near future. So let's begin. The first few episodes are going to be, well, not the first few, probably like the first 8 episodes or so will be a story time based. I'm going to tell you what things happened, and then after that I'll do a lot of reflection so that you all can see what I've learned. If you are interested, you can find me on Anchor. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Overcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. Almost everywhere you can find me, you can listen. My Instagram is _heart. You can find my personal Instagram. I am Brianna_Tyja. That's Tija. On Facebook, it is Jaded Heart or Brianna Tyja on Facebook. Brianna Tyja Milner, on Facebook. Those are all of my handles. Please rate us on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars if you love it. I'm here for any feedback that you all want to give me on how I can be better, things that you all would like to hear me talk about. If you have questions you want to ask, you can find me at brianna.jadedheartinc@gmail.com. Email me questions, criticism, whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. Just let me know. Oh, I also forgot, we're on Twitter. Find me on Twitter at Jaded Heart Inc. I am on all of the places. I try to be anyway. I'm pretty new to Twitter. I know it's been around for a long time, but I've never been really heavy in social media. But with this, I know I have to be. So bear with me, you all, while I'm kind of finding my bearings. And thank you again. So without further ado, this episode is going to be about my earliest memories up until I moved to Atlanta. So my very first memory that I can think of as a child is living with my granny and my grand in South Bend, Indiana. And you might be asking, why was I living with my grand and my granny? My mother and father were both Marines, and when I was a baby and I wasn't a baby. I think about 2 or 3, and my brother was like 1 or 2, somewhere around there. My mother was in Chicago, and my father was overseas at the time. He was still deployed overseas. Well, excuse me, I don't think deployed is the right word, but he was stationed overseas. That's what I was looking for. And I think they were together, but not really, kind of just trying to figure out what life was for them. And during that time, my mother was murdered. And so after that, after my mother's murder, my granny, until my father could come back, she took care of us, me and my brother. So we lived, and at the time she was living with her mother, who was older. And when I tell you, my gran was my world. That woman, I miss her greatly. She passed when I was, I think, 11 or 12, and some of my best memories as a child are with her, because she made me feel like, I don't know, like I was the only child that she ever loved. And granted, she had many great grandchildren, but she made me feel special. And I miss her every day. But all that to say, we lived with my grandmother up until I believe maybe 5 or 6, once my dad came back. We've moved back and forth from Atlanta to Indiana a few times. And what I meant was up until my parents got married. So we moved back with my father, and at the time he was married to another woman. And we lived with my dad up until, I think, 9 or 10 after we moved back. They had gotten divorced, which was really hard on, I remember, I don't know how my brother took it, but it was really hard on me. I